Hey, what's going on, folks? I'm AutoMattock. I'm currently live streaming on Twitch. You can find me on twitch.tv/AutoMattock. But today, I want to talk about my first impressions for Granblue versus fighting. I think I said that correctly. I just want to generally cover things about this game. Especially, the first thing I want to talk about is it's released in Japan and certain Asian countries. It's not available in America yet, but you can work around this. Now, I don't want to put suggestions out there in case anything goes wrong with the process, but what I did is I bought PSN cards from Hong Kong. I made a PSN account in the Hong Kong SAR region, and then I bought the game that way. The Hong Kong version has English subtitles and voice. The Japanese version does not. I believe there's other versions in the Asian countries that have also the same English, but I can't verify that. The reason why is beyond me. I don't know why it's not available in America when it has English menus, English voice acting. It's got everything prepared like North America when you go to the lobby system. That's not my office. It's not my jurisdiction. But it does seem really strange. There's plenty of websites you can go to find the cards. But I don't want to advertise any of them because it's something like I don't want to be liable, even if it's not even like a legal thing. So it's possible to obtain a copy right now. And the people who are serious about this game or who are curious, and people like myself who create content, with, we already got the game. We figured out how to get it. So I've been playing it for about 2.5, 3 days. I really like it. It's really fun to play. Let me move this microphone a little bit so you can see my hands. I think it's super good. So I don't even know where to start because I just want to talk about the netcode. The netcode is kind of a bummer. It is delay based. The best way I can describe it is serviceable. It's serviceable. It's not impressive. I've just had some matches using the lobby system where there's like an arcade and a skyship, which is pretty cool. Some of the matches were great. Some of the matches would say 2 or 3, 4 frames of delay and feel awful. They would have like a lot of stutter in between it. So that's not fun. It reminds me a lot of Under Night, where I played it online and I thought it was great. I thought it was also like serviceable. But then when I played the game offline and then went back to online, I couldn't. It also gave me that feeling of this is not correct. There's a lot of things that are missing. You can't react to certain things. But I mean, on that topic of reacting to what is reactable, this game does a great job of neutral and a lot of things that are, you see it and you can respond to it while it's happening. So in the neutral and a lot of the options on Wake Up, there are reactable things. Importantly, throw by itself is reactable. So I'm gonna record Gran and then throw at some arbitrary time. And then I'm gonna try to break it on reaction. So there's different types of throw breaks though. If you break it quickly, you're about even. The advantage changes. I don't want to get too much into numbers because I'm like seeing other sources, and I believe like you have more disadvantage. I just don't know precisely how much, and I'd like to see it for sure. And that is another thing about this game. The frame data doesn't quite display. It shows you when you hit somebody if you're at advantage, or if they're at advantage, or if you're even. It does not give you a specific number in the game. And that's kind of an issue too. But I get it, kinda, why they may or may not do that. There's so much to talk about with mechanics of this game that I don't even know where to start. It's okay. This game reminds me of Punch Planet a little bit. Punch Planet is an indie game, and it borrows a lot of ideas from other fighting games that are good, such as parry, invincible backdashes, and it applies it in an interesting kind of new way. I think this game does something similar, where it has some features like, what are we gonna call this? Dodge, roll, sort of like CVS2 a little bit. You got Just Defend. You can Just Defend by tapping back. You can also Just Defend by holding the block button and then tapping down back, I would suggest. Because if you hit back, you get the dodge. Back, block, and back is dodge. And another thing is like block itself. You can block 2 ways. You can hold the block button, which is also associated, it's attached with dodge and roll, or you can hold back to block. And there's different reasons why you would do either one, such as if somebody's jumping at you, you can hold the block button, and then you don't gotta worry about cross-up. So I think that is interesting. That is a, from where I sit, that's a Mortal Kombat. That's a Mortal Kombat feature. The Just Defend, sort of a CVS2 feature, Guilty Gear feature. You do have backdashes. Don't quote me on this. I don't want to be like precision just yet because we don't really have good solid data. But backdashes don't seem to have invincibility. It might change per character, but they do, I believe, have airborne frames. So you can use them to avoid throws, I think. Don't quote me on it. Also, throws themselves have a lot more recovery than they do in a game like such as Street Fighter V. So throws are kind of weak in this game. And it also seems like there's a lot of invulnerability on wake up. So I don't even know if you can do meaty throws in this game. So it's more about pressuring your opponent and making them believe that you're gonna frame trap and then you can throw them. But I don't know, there could be some different knockdown scenarios. There is normal and back recovery in this game for certain knockdowns. There's also hard knockdowns. I realize I'm kind of just rambling about the statistics of this game, but there's just so much to cover. I'm gonna make videos individually covering some of these topics and some of the characters. Vasaraga, this is the character that I've been playing the most lately. And Universal Overhead, this is like a third strike feature. These are safe on block, and you can use them off of your normals. For example, my heavy, I can go into overhead and this will frame trap my opponent's 5L. And then if I get a counter hit overhead, I can auto combo off of it, which is another thing in this game that is sort of like Dragon Ball. If you just mash on the same button, you'll get a combo as long as you use your close proximity normal, which is something that you see in games like Third Strike, Third Strike, Street Fighter 4, close proximity normal. So this is my 5M, and this is also my 5M from a distance. So you have normals that change depending on how close you are to your opponent. There's also hit confirms off of single buttons. So if I go into random guard, an example of this would be Vasaraga's heavy punch into Skybound Art. I think that's what it's called. So if they block my heavy, did I say heavy punch? If they block my heavy punch, I don't confirm it. I did the wrong input. No, I did the right input. Damn, that's another weird thing. So you have all these different features. One thing that's I haven't seen before, actually it was in Rising Thunder. Yeah, it was in Rising Thunder. Rising Thunder. Cooldowns. So hopefully my whiteboard is working. Yeah, cool. Cooldowns. So if you look over here and over here, these are your special attacks, and they're associated with a cooldown. And they are different depending on if you use the easy input, forgot to mention that, or an EX. So let me do easy inputs first. So you have a button assigned to easy inputs for your specials. And this affects the cooldown, and it's also sometimes in your interest to use it to avoid using the directional, the execution frames, you could call it. So for example, I have an anti-air command grab with this character, but it's half circle and then forward. So it's this. But I can also perform it, and also notice the cooldown on this. It immediately recovers. If I do back and M and the special button, the button that does special moves, easy inputs, it gives me the anti-air command grab. So that's much easier to anti-air with. But then it gives it a cooldown. So the easy input button increases the cooldown, and the EX, using an EX, you get a massive cooldown with that. So here's my normal fireball. You can see the blue on the top left. But if I use EX, I can't use that move until it recovers. And this is really important when you're building sequences. So for example, if I get a hit on my opponent, something simple, I go back up to them, and then from here I try to design a combo where I lead into that fireball again, so I get a juggle off of it. It's not going to work because it's on cooldown. I have to use a different move. So for Vasaraga, I would probably do stomp 2-2-H into H again. That's what I might do. But it's just really important to realize this. And EX moves, as far as I've seen, at least with this character, those are what give you the good knockdowns. And throws too. But, for example, if I hit with Fireball, they can now back recover or normal recover. But if I do the EX Fireball, it says down. And actually, it is handy on the sides here. You can see some of the states, such as North Carolina. It'll tell you down. Now, one thing I do have an issue with this game is the UI is a little bit chaotic. So, for example, the Viseriga is really big. That was a 2-hit combo, right? But the text is behind me. You see that? You can't see it. So that's not my favorite. That's not my favorite part of this game. I can't see it. There's too much going on. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So is there anything else? Oh, getting up off the ground I should talk about. Let's see, how do I knock down this character? Okay. So there is normal and back recovery, I think, on non-EX moves, like specials. And those, what you can do is hold the direction and then mash a button. Hold the direction, mash a button. This time I'm gonna hold back, holding back, and then I hit the button. So you hold and then mash a button. And I think that's a good design. As far as, are they the same? Do they get up at the same time? Is it like normal and back recovery like in Street Fighter V? I don't know. What else can I comment on for this game? And y'all can give me some questions in the chat if y'all are interested in any kind of expansion. Footsies are a big deal in this game. It reminds me more of Samurai Showdown than something like Third Strike. Although it is a touch of Third Strike too. I think it's more like Samurai Showdown because you have big, heavy normals. It might be because of the character that I play. You have big, heavy normals that have lots of recovery, but lots of reach. This character is pretty good with like ranged attacks, but it comes with increased startup. But as far as the knockdown game in this game, some characters, it reminds me of Street Fighter V. La Diva specifically, because she has a command grab that is, I believe, 5-6 frames. You really have to guess. And she has an EX headbutt move that has plus frames. It's either plus or even depending on how many she does. So she can do auto combo, headbutt, plus frames, command grab. Is really oppressive. Well, yeah, there is no air dashes. Safe jumps are in the game. I think that invincible reversals are a little bit slower. Maybe landing recovery is not that bad. Maybe it's pretty low. So I think it is possible to manually time safe jumps. So something, I don't know if I can give you a good example setup. But like this, that could potentially be a safe jump setup. Just timing it manually. I think that's not a bad idea. There is blocking in the air as well. You hold your block button in the air. I don't even know if you can block without it. Just a regular one. But yeah. Anti-airs. There are characters with anti-air uppercuts. Invincible DPs like Gran, I think, has one. Percival. Maybe a few others. But the knockdown game does remind me a lot of Street Fighter V. But not as bad. Specifically, it's that character La Diva with the command grab. But the other ones, I think you can just block and break throws and react to overheads, which is cool. Overall, I think this game is really good. And I'm excited to play it. But the netcode is kind of a bummer. But the package, it seems really good. I haven't seen it myself, but I heard that the single player mode is really robust. It's got a few features for online. It's got the ranked lobbies, private rooms. There's some issues here and there with the UI. Like if you want a password, if you want to find a room that has a password, you have to search for the password. It's kind of weird to me, but those are like nitpicking kind of things. Hey, Solanero, I saw you in the lobby earlier. What's up? But yeah, backdashes just airborne. I don't think they have invincibility. Does this game really have a combo count? Yeah. Good chain. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk about. Overall, I think this game is good. I think it's good, really fun. Oh yeah, there is some meter management, like where it says 100% up here. This is where you get your... I didn't talk about Justifan either. This meter up here is where you can use your Skybound art. When you're below 30%, you have access to... Excuse me. When you're below 30% health, you have access to Super Skybound art, I think it's called. And that's what this character looks like. Let's just show that off. Because this actually looks really cool. So this is available when you have 30% health. And I can use it as an anti-air. Supers, Skybound, whatever, they don't seem to be very strong as reversals, at least with my character. Could depend, it just really depends on the startup and if it has invincibility. Like for example, if I try to use this move against a fireball, it can be good, but I've seen the fireballs actually just beat it. And they might actually be able to block. I think he could block that actually. I should program the block. Oh, that's good. Let's try it from further away. I don't think he's blocking. Okay, let's just... I don't want to spend too much time doing this, but... There we go. That's what I thought would be good for this character, but it's just not there. Yeah, game tells you punish. I want to, like, visually show it, though. Anything else? I think we're good. Early, I give this game an early 8.5. I wish that it had good netcode. Because then I'd be like 9.5. Though netcode should probably count for more. But I'm trying to be fair here. Alright, I appreciate y'all. Hope we learned something. I'm AutoMattock.